Episode 6 of Eric marks this season finale, with City Hall facing criticism for its evacuation of the subways and tunnels because people have now been forced into the streets. The morning after their hookup, Gator and Michael mention having a history. Gator then hands him a tape he got from TJ and tells him to fast forward to the point where Marlon shows up on it. It shows Marlon being made to give Richard Costello a blowjob when Noakes shows up, pulls Marlon away and beats him until the teen dies. Kennedy reprimands him afterwards. Later, Misha and Alexander from sanitation show to pick up Marlon's body and throw it in the garbage truck. When Michael shows the others in his department a tape of Marlon's murder, Crip orders him to shut it off, but Michael ignores him and orders others to bring in the guilty parties. Michael tells Crip this is his investigation and he wouldn't want Internal Affairs to know how he stood in the way of it. Eric wakes up Vincent, who then finds Yusuf grabbing his stuff next to Edgar's paintings. Yusuf insists that he helped his son, telling Vincent that Edgar didn't want to go home because he was scared of his father. He then takes Vincent to the drain where Edgar would have gone, but Eric tries to stop Vincent, grabbing hold of him to tell him he's the real monster under the bed. They tussle for a while until Vincent gets the better of Eric, shouting at him to die. The police arrest Noakes, Alexander and Misha. When Michael enters Misha's place, he finds newspaper clippings about the missing kids, along with Marlon's borrowed jersey. They then arrest Richard Costello and Tabari. No one they've arrested will talk except for Misha, who says he disposed of Marlon's body on Bruno Tabari's orders. Richard speaks up as well, claiming he didn't want them to kill him and that they had him cuffed so he couldn't stop it. The police find Raya's body after she died by drowning. Still, there's no sign of Edgar. Meanwhile, Edgar himself struggles to make his way out of the sewers on his own. Vincent eventually snaps out of his fight and continues to search for Edgar. He makes his way up through a grate and, seeing a TV broadcast about protests taking place outside City Hall, he runs to get somewhere. While Cassie makes her way to the protests, Vincent arrives at the Good Day Sunshine studio. He gets the Eric costume and puts it on to help him find Edgar. He goes to City Hall to talk to Edgar on TV. Hoping his son is somewhere he can see his message, he says he's sorry and that everyone deserves a home where they are safe, a message that goes hand in hand with the protests on behalf of New York's unhoused people. Vincent then says he let Edgar down, but he wants to do better. Edgar himself sits in a diner and listens to the broadcast, while Vincent takes off the mask and quotes Tolstoy. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. This time, instead of weaponizing the quote, he applies it to himself. He then grabs a mic and tells him he'll race Edgar home. Edgar and Vincent start running home, and this time, Edgar wins. Cassie isn't far behind either. Later, Cassie and Vincent put Edgar to bed. Vincent decides to go to rehab and says he'll call when he's allowed family. He's recognised how toxic he's become to their family and knows it's time to rectify that. Elsewhere, Lenny watches a news broadcast about Marlon, which leaks that the creator, himself, of a famous children's TV show was one of the Sierra's former clients. Rather than confront his involvement, he jumps from his window, committing suicide. After learning of her son's death, Cecile tells the press about Marlon's wonderful qualities. But this isn't a fair world, and these are not fair rules. She says that while the world betrayed Marlon, she won't give up on the love and hope that her son believed in. Later, Michael cries while packing up William's things. He then shows up at Cecile's with groceries and joins her for a meal. Months later, Robert meets Vincent at the park, who's out of rehab and on the mend. Vincent reminisces with him about the good times they used to have with each other at the zoo. Robert used to make time for him, but Vincent has forgotten. He says he used to admire and respect them, but not anymore. Unwilling to reckon with his failures as a father, Robert insults Vincent. He tells him the park he loves so much was made by ordering immigrant people to leave Seneca Village. He calls that progress, but Vincent disagrees, calling it theft. Next, Vincent goes to work, where he plays Eric on Good Day Sunshine. Edgar, a pregnant Cassie, and Sebastian show up to watch the show about how Eric isn't alone and has others by his side. Edgar is excited to spend the day with Vincent for the first time since his dad got out of rehab. He sneaks off to put on the Eric suit, then speaks to Vincent in a gravelly voice and shakes his hand like they are meeting for the first time, and that is where the finale of Eric comes to an end. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.